goal of everything that we do is to give people the bandwidth and the space, time, energy, money, space to show up and give great care. All of the rest of the stuff, right? The appointments, the schedule, the communication with practice members for admin stuff. The idea in my perspective, in my world, is hey, Lena, I want you to come into the office and I want you to have the thought, or if you have a virtual office, into your virtual office, where all you have to do right now is show up and serve great care. Show up, serve great care, do it compliantly, do it with love, and be done. All of the other busyness that surrounds it, everything from somebody finding out about you, somebody being curious and doing an investigative journey on you, somebody reaching you, somebody having clear transparency about your boundaries around time, energy, money, somebody being served by you, somebody paying you, somebody scheduling their next experience with you, somebody learning about what the journey of being a practice member in your world is. I want all of those things to be automated where they should be, streamlined where they should be, and done by you where they should be. And my hope for you is that you can know which piece of the puzzle goes where. And then also know which piece of the puzzle is not the best use of your time. Because what happens is a lot of people knock on our door, it's a virtual door, albeit, and they say, I'm checking people in my practice, I'm charging insurance, I'm writing all my notes, I'm doing social media posting, I'm doing advertising out on the weekends, I'm trying to meet with partners in the community. I'm also trying to send claims to insurance. I'm trying to do all of these things because my staff just quit, or God forbid, I have to hire another person. Or I have an office manager who does all of the things and she's burnout or he's burnout, and all I do is manage them because they're burnout, and then I'm distracted from serving great care. And we've seen all varieties of that. We've seen people knock on our door who don't know how to open a computer. That's how low their tech skills are. We've seen people knock on our door who have developed software programs. We've seen people who knock on our door who are chiropractors, PTs, OTs, acupuncturists, nutritionists, coaches, who all have the same problem. And the problem is they want to show up, serve great care, and go home. And they want all of the rest of the stuff to be either one click ready, or they want to have somebody do it for them. If that's you, stay with me for the next hour. If it's not you, go enjoy the rest of your day. So a little bit about my story and my pain point. If you don't, I think most of you know me, but if you don't already know me, I've been in chiropractic practice. I'm in my 25th year. So I've officially been serving chiropractic care for a quarter of a century. We just had like a whole, every once in a while, I'll get like chatty Cathy's in my adjusting room. And today was one of those days. It was so fun. And most of them were around my age, like I'm in my 50s. And we were talking about starting like the gray hair club of Hunterdon, right? So I can chit chat with my people and have fun and love them up because I'm not worried about all the rest of the bullshit. Because it's all being done, it's all being taken care of, the notes, all of it, right? So I spent almost 20 years in practice trying to figure out how to do it the way that I was told I was supposed to do it, with 6 staff members in my office and multidisciplinary, a big space, and running thousands and thousands of dollars through every week, the practice, and billing insurance and all the stuff. And 80% of my picture of, we have the spoke of the wheels. We've got physical, emotional, spiritual, career, relationships, family. And about 80% of my entire wheel was career. And about 90% of that was managing a staff. And I was miserable and I was distracted, and I would have a newborn baby in my hands serving their first adjustment to them. And I would be listening to someone saying something on the phone that I've trained them 5 times to not say that thing. And I would feel my blood boil because I didn't know how to do it differently. finally, when before the pandemic hit, when things started to get weird, right? Like, you know what I mean? Things started to get weird. And the person who was running my front desk had also become one of my best friends. And she was my workout buddy. She was like my work wife, right? And we did everything together. We were tight. I've since learned to not do that. And when she quit my life, and it hurt really deeply. And I went into a grieving process, and I promised myself, with that pain, because this is what pain does, it teaches us, right? I will never put myself in this situation again. So when I get determined, I set myself on a course of action. I rolled up my sleeves. This is pre-pandemic. And I said, okay, what do I need to do if the phone can't get answered by a person? I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to put it all together, and I'm going to create the perfect solution for my phone so that I can see it ringing, and I'm not stressed at all because that person is being taken care of without me and my time. What do I do with the schedule? What do I do with texting? What do I do with email? What do I do with my website? What do I do with my notes? What do I do with checking on a practice member after their first visit with me? How do I get all of that just right so that I don't have to have anybody else sitting at my front desk? I literally got rid of my front desk. I got rid of all of the things that were in my way of showing up and serving great care, and I got really good at it. And then, and if you haven't noticed, I'm pretty verbal and vocally loud on social media. So my friends were all watching this go down in chiropractic, my chiropractic friends. And when the pandemic hit and overnight they lost their staff, they started knocking on my virtual door and saying, what do I do with my phone? What do I do with my emails? Because they didn't even know where the access to the email was. And I said, oh, I figured this out over the past 6 months. Let me show you what I've learned. That was the creation of the book Staffless. And that was over 4.5 years ago now. And since then, we've created 3 more books. 3 of our 4 books are bestsellers, all on running a practice with joy at the core, without staff, or with staff who only shows up to do what they're great at doing. We've also have a school of over 4,000 hours of content on every facet of practice. And what happened is we developed these really beautiful coaching programs for our community members with integrity at every piece. Like, there's no slime. I'm allergic to slime and cheese and all of it, right? I want, if somebody asks me or my team for help, I want to be able to put my head on the pillow at night and know that they're getting the best. And if they're not, I want to know how to course correct to make sure that that's what happens. Sometimes I have to say I'm sorry. And if I do, no big deal. But I don't want to have to say I'm sorry all the time. So we have figured out how to serve amazing systems and in these very creatively crafted coaching programs. But here are the problems that we kept hearing. Jody, I love all the things that you taught me, but I have like 8 passwords and 8 different windows that need to be open to run my practice. Sharon's laughing, right? I lost the password to the email, but the email is talking to the text, and now I don't know what to do. I got turned on to this, this is what I'm hearing. I got turned on to this really cool platform, Lena, this is you. And I know that it has the tools that I need, but I don't have the bandwidth to spend 10 hours over my only weekend with my kids to figure out how to use it, or how to write a funnel, or how to create a landing page, or how to make it all see each other. I don't have the creative know-how or bandwidth or even desire to figure it out. Those were the problems that we kept hearing. And it would feel really frustrating to me because we were working our tails off, putting these, we don't get bad reviews. Like, if someone comes to our world and we work with them, they love their experience. So when I would hear, this is the only part I wish I could change, it kept bugging me. So then I got turned on to a platform solution for my staffless practice world, for emails, texting, phone, website, social media accounts, automations, funnels, landing pages, all of it. And I hated it. I hated it. I spent probably 40 hours just plugging and playing and plugging and playing. And I hadn't even tapped into moving my website over, or all the big pieces. And I was like, a little voice in my head was like, one day this would be really cool to make easy. But I was focused on all the other things. And then the right person and the right person and the right person and all of the right people started showing up in my life and saying, oh, I can take this piece and make it easy. I can take this piece and make it easy. And that was the birth and the start of what is now the practice suite. So the practice suite is a virtual switchboard for what happens with your practice members when they're not in front of you. What happens with them before their appointment, what happens with them on the day they come in, not when they're in the office. When they're in the office, you need to take notes, you need to charge the credit card, you need to do all of those things. That's not what this is. This is the switchboard for communication. Remember the ladies, and Andrea, we have to make a logo with the lady with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth and she's like going crazy on the switchboards. That whole thing in 2024 is what we've created. How to get the thing to the people when they're not in your office to show them who you are and what you're all about. And it's beautiful and it's compliant and it's easy and it's really inexpensive. So I want to show that to you today. But I first want to back up and explain, like, from the day that my person left and said goodbye and I did all the grieving and all that happened to today. Here's what I have learned, okay? I've been in 12-step recovery for 32 years, so it's in my blood, it's my language, it's where my languaging comes from. I literally couldn't speak in complete sentences when I joined a 12-step program when I was 19. So literally I learned how to speak, right? So the 12-step program framework has always, it's always given me an understanding of how to kind of clump things together, right? So we created a 12-step program for inefficiency in practice. And that's what I want to share the 12-step frame with you. And then I'm going to show you how we apply it to a practice suite. Any questions? I'm going to also tell you that I am not doing any selling to you. You can't buy this right now. This is for me to share with you from my heart to yours what we're doing. If after this you want to connect with us and you want to be what we now call sweeties, you want to be a sweetie, you want our sweethearts to build a suite for you, you can set up some time with Andrea. Andrea, raise your hand. And when you meet with Andrea, she knows what questions to ask you to protect what? My time, my energy, and my money. To protect your time, your energy, and your money. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs tools. Everybody needs system to protect time, energy, money for you, for your practice members, and for your family. Okay, so I'm going to go into screen sharing with you. I don't want you to see, like, I literally just finished adjusting. Like, while I was getting on with you guys, I still had a practice member on the table. Okay, I think my screen is ready to share. Wouldn't it be funny if I shared like all my notes? And I'm not going to do that. That wouldn't be funny. Okay. So you're looking at what is now known as the 12-step system. This took 4 years to come to life. I have a lot of coaches that I use. I have like 4 chiropractors. I have 2 massage therapists. I probably have 7 or 8 coaches that I consult with, depending on what I need. This person who helped me put this together, he and I go in these jam sessions for like 2 hours straight, and we just brainstorm and create really good stuff together. So this was the product of one of those jam sessions. So people come into our world needing to prepare. Sometimes people come into our world on step 8 because they have the first 7 steps down. But the first step is always prepare. And prepare is, what are your values? What is your vision? What is your mission statement? Who are you serving them? Why are you serving them and not those, right? Whatever. What does it look like to be in a state of joy in practice? That's foundation, right? That's step 1. If you come in saying, I need a system for my phone, I'm going to say, back the bus up and tell me about your step 1. How prepared are you? Because you can't create a system for your phone if you don't know who you want to be serving, because you have to say the right words in the right way for the system for the phone to be effective. Make sense? And everybody's system is different, depending on who you want to serve, depending on what your story is, depending on what pain points you create solutions for. It could be a broken heart. It could be a broken arm. It could be a broken spirit. It could be a broken past life. It could be whatever. You got to figure out, one, who are you serving and how are you serving them? How do you want to be serving those people? Step two, what do you do with your physical space to protect what? Time, energy, money of you and your practice members. How do you create client help yourself areas in your practice physical space or virtual space so that your time is protected and so is the time of the practice members? I spent 20 minutes on the phone this morning, I'm not kidding, trying to schedule an appointment for a skin doctor. 20 minutes. I was passed to 3 different people. Was that protecting my time and energy and money? Or there's the girl, the lovely girl that was trying to help me. Do you think that that was a waste of her time? Right? So 2, physical space. 3, time. How are you spending your time? What kind of appointments are you offering? When was the last time you took a real look at the appointment types that you offer and asked yourself, are they still relevant? Chances are, if it's been over 6 months, you've got appointment types that you offer to your community members that are no longer relevant. I offered telehealth calls for like a year post-pandemic. I don't do it anymore. So I walk my talk. I'm in practice with you guys. I'm constantly seeing what needs to be added. I'm telling you right now, practicing today is a lot different than practicing 5 years ago, right? Because we're post-pandemic, it's a whole new era. People have totally different expectations of care, some in good ways and some in not so good ways. So how are you spending your time inside the office, outside the office? Texting program. How do you create a texting solution for your practice that's one-click ready, HIPAA compliant, cost effective, and that's not going to keep you texting your practice members at 3 o'clock in the morning? That's also not dropping the personal connection. That's the texting solution. Phone system. How do you make sure that if you can't get to the phone, your practice members still feel seen and heard? How do they get the help that they're looking for without having to press 3 5 times? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I don't want to press 3 5 times. And I don't want to hear about how it's a great day. We've never been better. It's so awesome over here. How can I help you? And I don't want to listen to someone at my desk listening to Johnny's soccer practice story on the phone for 10 minutes before the appointment is scheduled. How do you make the phone efficient? Email system. How do you create an email solution that's branded, compliant, and template ready? What does template ready mean? I was finding that I was sending pretty much the same email to all of my new practice members, but I kept rewriting it. And it was a waste of time, energy, money. So I was like, wouldn't it be cool if anything that comes after, wouldn't it be cool if that's what you need to start focusing on, right? Wouldn't it be cool if I had all of these things in my email already and I could just click it and it would populate? So I think I started this with like notes on my computer, like these are new patient or practice member emails. These are I miss you emails. These are super bill emails. And then I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I didn't have to go to the note and copy and paste and then reformat and do all of that? Wouldn't it be cool if there was one click? And yes, that's super possible in so many different programs. It's taking the time to figure out the pieces. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. So then what would happen is people would very efficiently learn these first 6 steps in our program that was called SPA-TRI, Staffless Practice Academy trimester. And then they had new problems. And their problems were, I've got all these really cool systems that you just taught me, but I feel really disorganized with them. I need an SOP, standard operating procedure. Somebody just joined my practice now that we're getting busier. I need to hand them all of the rules in one place. That's organization. What tech programs do I want now that I have all of this kind of automated and streamlined? Then we would hear, I need to know exactly what I want to do before, during, and after the first visit with my new practice members. Then I would hear, how do I continue to grow and nurture my people from inside the practice? How do I continue to grow and nurture my people from outside the practice? How do I create an online course? or do Facebook ads? When is it appropriate? And finally, step 12 is, how do I hire when I'm ready to? Who do I hire? How do I interview people? When is it time to hire a coach, a different coach besides me, right? Or one of our team coaches? When is it time to hire an accountant versus a bookkeeper? That's all wise counsel, step 12. I would come in to a meeting with a new client and I'd say, how can I help you today? And they'd say, well, my staff just left and I'm trying to hire somebody. So they're on step 12, right? That's what their focus is on. And I say, well, what are you doing for your phone system? Step 6. What solution do you have for texting? Step 4. And they say, oh, I don't. I just use my cell phone. Stop the bus, back it up, and let's start over at step 1. Any questions so far? That's where we're starting from, the 12-step program. And most of our clients, especially if you've been through Spa Try, you have the first 6 steps wired. Any questions? Oh, here. Right. Oh, Lena, I got you, girl. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to share with you the solution that we put together, and it's really quite beautiful. So over the past 4 years, we've been using this program for texting, which was great. I mean, it was super cost effective. The people that worked there were really nice. They gave our people a really good deal. It was as compliant as texting can be, because come to find out, you really can't text compliantly, because if you send me a text right now, it's going to pop up on my phone, even if it's an app, right, that the text is going to. If I'm at Starbucks and I put my phone down and I go to the bathroom, any person can walk up and read that text. That makes a text officially not HIPAA compliant. However, the rules of the trade are, this is what I have found out, as long as you're going through compliant channels, that's what you need to dot your I's and cross your T's on. So we found the texting program, we found the email solution where you could have a lovely signature and your picture shows up top and the templates are all perfect. We figured out a way to format the templates, show you our templates, you pick which ones you like, and we make the words perfect and put them in for you. We figured all that out. And the complaint was there are too many places to look. So then in the meanwhile, you never know why things are lining up the way they are until you have your aha moment, right? I'm going to repeat that because I need to hear it. You never know why things are lining up the way they are until you have your aha moment. There are some things in my life where I'm like, give me the moment, you know, what I'm saying to you, it was painful to see that it was clunky and it wasn't smooth and my team was stressed about it. The irony, you guys, is that in order to do all of this, I've had to hire a pretty big team. And I think right now we have 16 team members, and I'm truly still the hardest part of my job because I want to take my ideas and I want them into action, but I want it done like that, right? And we all want that, which is it's the challenge. So we figured out a way to get it all in one place, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. We figured out a way to make it pretty. We figured out a way to teach it easily. Let me just, Andrea, while I'm doing what I'm doing, can you see the chat? Because I want to open up the right things as we go into kind of showing off here a little bit. I'm just going to close out certain windows. I don't want to show you guys practice member information because that would be really inappropriate. Okay, I want that open, and then I want, all right, I think I'm ready to share. You ready? I'm kind of nervous. I feel like I'm going on a first date or something. I'm going to share my screen here. So this is the practice suite. And this is our blue version. We've got all different colors depending on what you like. The conversations happen here. So if you sent me a text right now, let me actually go to our purple version. We have a lot of, hold on a sec. We can stay here, that's okay. So, let's go into the light version. This is an example of a purple version. So if you send a text to me right now into my suite, this is where the text would show up. These are all conversations, is all of it. It's email, it's text, it's social media messages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. It's any messages that somebody is trying to get to you. And what I love so much about this is the organization possibilities of this. Let's say these are all fake people, you guys. So let's say that Gary here, I wanted to come back to this conversation, or even better, if I had a virtual assistant, which this is true for my practice, I have a virtual assistant running my practice suite, right? And if she says to me, hey, Jody, I started a few messages for you to check out, I'll go into Starred and I'll read these messages, I'll handle them and I'll unstar them. That's our communication system between me and my virtual assistant. So the reasons show up here, the unread show up here. She can also take Gary's message here. And again, this could be an email from Gary. It could be a text from Gary. And even though it's been read, she can go ahead and mark it unread. And then she can say to me, hey, Jody, there's a message in the unread inbox, and we can allocate the start inbox for a different feature. Okay, that's the messaging window. The calendars, this is really cool, you guys, you ready? The calendars show a mirror of your practice schedule. So if you're using Jane or ChiroTouch or any of the big dealers out there, most of them come with an iCal link. And we can take that iCal link, we can set it up with Gmail, and we can make your schedule reflected in here. You can't schedule into your EHR from here, however, or Calendly, same deal. Actually, you can schedule for Calendly in here. But what you can do is you can see what your schedule looks like. And I'll show you an example of that with the LightSource schedule, because LightSource is my practice. They only show first name and last initial to keep things compliant. That's the calendar. The convenience piece to this is if I have a VA, a virtual assistant, getting a text from Gary saying, hey, can I see Jody on Tuesday at 3? She can very quickly pop over here and see my schedule on Tuesday at 3. If that's not enough for you, and for some people it's not enough, we can also add a button here that goes directly to your EHR program. Contacts. Here are all of the contacts in the suite. Each contact is assigned at least one tag, if not 5 or 10 or whatever, however you want to organize your contact. The other thing you should know is that we have an entire course teaching you, Lena, do you see this, my love? Teaching you exactly how to set all of these things up. There's no guesswork, you guys, none. We have a light version and a pro version. If you're a doctor, you need the pro version because it's HIPAA compliant. Okay, so good. Step boards, kind of like a stepmom or a stepdad, but a step board. So if you know the program Trello, this is a Trello board. And there's a step board for new practice members, reactivations, and leads journey, which is what comes with your suite, these 3 step boards. Basically, this is this. Let's say that I tell my suite when I'm setting it up, and we either teach you how to do all this or we do it for you, depending on which program you enter our world in. If we want to say, okay, let's go to new patient step board. This is practice members. If you're a coach, it's a client. If you're a PT, it's a client. If you're a chiropractor, it's a patient. Use your own words, okay? Let's say that before visit 1, I've got May gets on my schedule. May's card is automatically populated. May comes into my office and I either text my VA and say, hey, May was here. May's card is then going to be moved to after visit 1 column. Then a whole series of automations happen. You see how that disappeared? That was an automation. Let's say that I wanted to tell my suite, after the card is moved from visit before to after visit 1, send Joni a text, send Joni an email, tag Joni current practice member instead of new practice member in progress. This is all manual automation. If you don't want to have anything to do with that, that's totally cool. Then we're looking at the non-manual automation. That's what we call workflows. Workflows are, if you're familiar with Constant Contact, it's kind of like Constant Contact on steroids or MailChimp on steroids. It's basically do this when this happens and then do this and then do, it's bossing your suite around. That's what your automations and workflows are. It's telling your suite when this thing happens, this is what I want to do. And yes, we show you how to do all of the setup of this, or we do it for you. Sites. This is where we take your website and we put it into your suite for you, or you just have one page in here, which if you're in my world right now, you know what a VSL is. My suggestion to you is that the site that shows up here is a VSL. What is a VSL? I actually just need to write myself a note, because these days, if I don't write it down, I forget it. And this is an important point to remember. VSL. A VSL is a video sales letter, where the website for your suite will be something like this. It's a video of my face on top. This is for my practice. If it was your practice, it would be your face. Why would it be my face, right? So it's a video with your face on top saying, "Hi, I'm Michelle. It's so nice to meet you. Thanks for checking out my website. This is what I do. This is why I do it. And this is how you can be part of it." And then underneath that 3-minute video, it's a 1-minute video, 5 times answering, "Yeah, but I can't afford it. Yeah, but I don't have enough time. Yeah, but you're going to hurt me. Yeah, but you're answering the yeah, buts in little videos. And then there's a calendar to book with you. That's a VSL. My recommendation is the one page, if you had to choose one, in your website as a VSL. And if someone clicks on the calendar link and schedules an appointment, you can boss your suite around and tell your suite all of the things that you want it to do after that appointment is made. And I show you how, or we do it for you. Okay. Learn. If you are a teacher, whether you've moved into the empowered position of having a course or not having a course, this is where your course will live. We either do it for you or we show you how. Okay. This is actually, if you're in our program where we take all of your information, we build your suite for you, and we coach you along the way, you're going to see these pink classes. These steps should look familiar. Step 1, prepare. Step 2, physical space. It's the 12 steps of the Staffless Practice Success System. We walk you through those 12 steps in our program. Some people don't want that. They just say, "Jody, just give me the suite. Leave me alone. Bye-bye. Show me what to do." We have that. That's our Bayou options. There's a light and a pro. And again, if you're a wellness practitioner, you need the pro. SOPs. I think that this is my very favorite part of the entire thing. I'm actually going to get out of this and stop sharing. If we are building a suite for you, every time you give us a piece and we challenge you, we push you, we say, "What do you want to say to your new practice members on their first visit?" You give us the words either verbally or you type it out. We capture the words on, it's called a capture sheet. We capture the words, we put them in your suite, and then we put them in an SOP for you. At the end of your suite build, we hand you an SOP, which is basically an entire file of all the things that your practice does to run. That's part of what you get when you come into our world. That's the practice suite. I didn't get into social media posting and commenting. You can do it right from your suite. People can call your suite. You can make calls from your suite. You can record calls from your suite. So start thinking about dollar signs, like, how does this protect time, energy, money for you and for your practice members? For you, you're very well replacing your website, your phone, your texting service, if you use a program like Hootsuite that sends messages to multiple places, you're replacing that. Your email campaign software. You can use the practice suite for scheduling your patients. You would just need a solution for notes and billing. So some people are like, does this replace Jane or ChiroTouch or KDC or whatever you're using? It doesn't, because it's not a notes piece. It's not a notes piece and it's not a billing piece. It's the other parts. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, I'm going to answer questions. Was that helpful? Did you guys get stuff out of that? Yeah. Okay.
Michelle has a question in the chat.
So this is designed mostly for managing or how, okay. So, right. Cause I'm not attracting new practice members. So let me share how I used my suite today. Would that be helpful? Yeah. Okay. I was running a few minutes late because that happens in my world. And I was able to text my VA and say, can you text the first 5 people on my schedule and tell them to come 10 minutes later? In one click, she can do that with all 5 people. If I want to send an email out to the people who came in today for their reeval or their first visit, or I'm concerned about them, there are templates. Here, let me show you this. This is fun, you guys. There are templates that are ready to go. So let's go back to the suite. So let's say I want to send an email to Johnny or Joni. I don't know who this is, right? I'm going to go, let me bring this up, and I'm going to type in here. Here are all of my templates. There are only 3 templates in this suite, but we give you what's called the template kit. It's 20 plus emails and text messages. You guys, this is next level. Listen to this. 20 plus emails and text messages that say, here's what you want to include. Here's the prompt for ChatGPT to get the perfect words for this email. And here's an example of the email. That's what the templates include. So for this specific email, I'm going to send an email here, and it's already typed up. You see? So it's just, it saves you time in opening Gmail, typing out the email. What are the most common emails you send your practice members? Mostly what I use this for is I text my practice members through my suite. So if someone's running late, if they left their umbrella, if they want to bring their stepmom, if their kid left their shitty diaper in the bathroom, whatever it is, this is where they text me. I never answer text messages. My virtual assistant does it for me. And if it's something that's for me, she'll tell me to look in the start inbox. So that's how we use this for my practice. Did that answer that question? And then there's a whole series of nurturing that can happen. Like if I want a practice member on an email campaign for their first year of care with me, where once a month they get an email and a text with something really groovy about chiropractic, my suite will do that. And I can get a reminder that the email is going, today's their day to get it. Birthday reminders, you name it, the sky's the limit. You guys, here's the thing, okay? I used to say to my kids, you can do anything at any time. You just need to know how. Anybody can do anything at any time. You just need to know how, right? So your suite can do anything at any time. The hardest thing is you just need to know what you want it to do. And that's where our program comes into play. My EMR allows patients to change contact permissions, texting, email, and voicemail. I'm wondering how it would coordinate that. I would say, Lisa, you'd probably want to choose. Here's the thing, don't replace things that are working. If you have an EMR that's already doing texting, email, and voicemail, and it works for your brain, stick with it. Do not go down the rabbit hole of creating solutions where solutions don't need to be created. If that's working for you, but I'm guessing that it's not, otherwise you wouldn't be spending this time with us, stick with that. If there are pieces that doesn't do that the practice suite could do, my suggestion, sister to sister, pick one or the other, or you're going to make yourself cuckoo. You're also going to waste a lot of money. And I don't want to see any of that. Does it do appointment reminders? It only does appointment reminders if the appointment is made in your suite. So I have the choice right now to say, okay, suite, I want my new patients to schedule right into my suite, or I want my new patients to schedule in Jane, because I use Jane because Jane rocks. If they schedule in Jane, somebody on my team, my virtual assistant or me, has to manually put that appointment in the schedule in the suite. Then all of the automations can happen, the reminders, the phone calls, the task lists, whatever you guys want to set up. I give you the suggestions of what that can look like, and you pick from those suggestions which parts you want. Is this compliant if I want to follow up with patients after their visit? Yes. So Michelle, my rule of thumb is with texting, yes, the whole thing is HIPAA compliant. Yes. But to double click on that, my rule of thumb, because what I've seen in my 25 years is you never, ever, ever want to text a practice member about their healthcare. You want to text them about admin needs. Hey, Sally, you left your umbrella. Hey, Sally, I have an envelope sitting on my desk for you. Hey, Sally, did you want little Johnny to come in with you next time? That's it. That's what texting a practice member should look like. If it's more like, Sally, take the magnesium, but wait until you're done with the oxidative therapy. Nah, I don't want to see that in a text ever, because it can always be misread. And then a whole series of things can happen that are scary. I'd rather see it in an email. And the only way that your email for your suite is compliant is if your email carrier is compliant. That's why when you start with us, we have you sign a BAA with Gmail so that your email is compliant. And to take it the next step, we also want to see you set up an account with a company called HIPAA, where you're paying them, I think it's $30 a month. You walk through a 2 to 3 hour class with them. And so does anybody that's touching your suite. And you're checking all of the boxes. Yep, I do that in my practice. Yep, I do that in my practice. And then you can show that you're HIPAA compliant because you have an updated account with HIPAA. This isn't stuff you want to mess around with, you guys. Like, if you know, when you know, and now you know. So there's that. I do not have a VA or an assistant. Can the practice suite respond like a chat bot to questions from patients, to clarify questions? You can certainly set up automations for your suite to say, if you see this string of words or whatever, here's my pushback to that. I see way too often doctors, coaches, wellness practitioners use automation where it shouldn't be used. So I want this to be a personal experience for your practice members and for you as much as possible. If you do not have a VA answering your text messages and you get more than 5 to 10 text messages a day, I want to see you have a VA answering your text messages. That's step 12. That's wise counsel. That's when we say, okay, what's it look like for you to have a VA working for your practice? Virtual assistant is VA. You can find an amazing VA for $6 an hour. And those are things that we can show you how, or we can baton pass to one of our partners who that's all they do. So there's a book, you guys, I talk about it a lot. It's called Who Not How. Anybody know it? And Who Not How is all about having the right people in the right lanes to help you do your thing, right? You don't ask yourself, how am I going to handle all these texts? You're going to ask yourself, who's going to handle all these texts? And the person who handles the text is the person who handles text all day long. They can run circles around text answering in your world around you, right? That's why you have them doing that thing. So I want to go into that just a little bit more. If you hire a front desk person and they are a stay-at-home mom who stopped their first year of college because they got into the love of their life, which happens to be theater, and they're looking for a part-time job, and you bring them in and you're going to pay them $18 an hour, and they're kind of good with numbers, but not really. They like people, but they get annoyed easily, but they're really good with organization and theater, right? And you bring them into your office and you say, okay, Sally, I'm going to have you answer my phones, file for me, bill insurance, do my marketing, answer social media, check my patients in, check my patients out, and make sure that my AR accounts are up and running. It's not fair to do that. And that's what I see most of my colleagues doing. You need to have the right people in the right lanes. And part of that might be having a VA answering, being a sweetheart for you. The sweethearts are the people who run the suite. We are teasing around with the idea of doing that in-house. I don't want to manage a bunch of VAs. It's just not the way that I want to spend my time, especially when there are people doing that really well already. Any other questions that I didn't hit? So here's what we offer right now. Hey, Lena, do you want to share for a minute, first of all, how awesome you are and who you are and what you do, but also your experience with using a software program like the Practice Suite,
Yeah,
and what you went through.
sure. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So I was able to start on the platform that is similar, or I don't know, Jody, maybe identical to the one that you have built. And it is kind of feeling a little bit like a kid in a Christmas store with no money. So you get in and you start like window shopping and everything is amazing, and then you don't really know what to do with it. And can you build a website in there? Heck yes. Can you create automations? Absolutely. But if you don't know what you're doing, this becomes a nightmare. I have to say that, what Jody and team did is absolutely taking like the power of the universe and package it into digestible, snackable size
That's so
delivery,
sweet.
right?
And part of it was you saying yes and saying, Jody, go for it. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So can you live without it? Heck yes. Can you buy all of those Lego pieces individually? You have. Are you loving your life? I don't know. You probably wouldn't be here if your Lego pieces were all connected. I know that I had a Lego piece for literally every single thing I had to do. There is the calendar, there is text message, there is email, there are websites, and it's just like, and then you have to ensure that your branding is consistent.
Right.
Or you come across as a mompreneur wannabe, right? And if you're running your business at a certain level, you want to represent. So I think, the difference between what Jody showed versus what I had is like the difference between Home Depot, Lowe's, and Raymond and Flanagan.
That's a really good analogy. I like Raymore and Flanagan. Thank you, Lena. So here's what we offer now. This is our offer through the summer because we are in beta for our suite. Her birthday was like 2 weeks ago. She was born. And we have about 15 of our current clients who have finished Spa Try going through our suite build process. We are offering our Spa Try program where you can go through Spa Try, which is building the first 6 steps of the 12-step success system, being coached all the way through. That's a 12-week program. During those 12 weeks, we give you a suite to play with and we start building it for you. We give you a course to learn how to use the suite. We don't charge you for the suite during those 12 weeks. At the end of the 12 weeks, that's when you start paying for your suite. And the offer that we have now is the Spa Try program is $4,800. That's unlimited coaching. We build the whole thing for you. And then your suite is a rental fee of $395 a month for our upgraded version, which will be $495 a month after the summer. So that's the offer that we have on the table right now. And again, as I said in the beginning of this call, if you are interested to learn more, here's what you need. You need to have a couple of hours a week to put into giving us the pieces. You're going to go listen to the texting course. You're going to give us the words that you like, either through a voice message or the typed out words, or just choosing them on a sheet. You're going to meet with your coach and tease out truths for your practice around texting. And then we're going to take your information and we're going to build your suite with it. If you love that idea, you want to start with a call with Andrea. And Andrea, can you just drop your link there? We're going to do this through the summer. After the summer, we're going to be launching Practice Suite and people can buy it without us touching their experience. We don't have that yet because we really are still teasing out the pieces. Spa Try is perfect. Like, it is ready for you. Your coaches are ready for you. They will walk you through the whole thing. We will take that information and dress your suite up with it. What other questions do you guys have? Anything at all? Are you wowed, or are you like, not so sure this is my thing? Lots of questions. Claire, start with a call with Andrea. Yeah, that's the best place. So Andrea's job is to listen to you and to ask questions. She's not going to talk about money with you. She's not going to talk about which program you fit in. She's going to make, she's the gatekeeper to my schedule. She makes sure that if you get on my calendar, this is something that you really want, because I don't want to waste your time. And I don't, with all due respect, I don't want you to waste mine. So amazing. I'd love to ask. Yes, it's totally savvy for outside the US. We're still learning about, like, we had a client who wanted to join us from Switzerland. Is that you, Wendy? Yeah. So we asked our developer and she said, no problem. There are just a couple of things that will be different for you when it comes to texting. And she's on that. But people use the raw platform that we're using. It's used all over the world in every country. And the cool thing, Wendy, is that literally when you start our program, we say, Wendy, give me your hand. We're going to walk you through every single piece. And if we get caught on a piece, we're just going to figure it out. What else, you guys? Okay, Andrea's, Andrea, what do you have open on your schedule for the next couple of days?
I should have, I'm pretty open, this afternoon and Monday. Let me check.
And if you don't see a time on her schedule that works for you, just send us a text. Wherever you found out about today, connect with us there. Any other questions? I can tell you that my practice has been on the suite for the past 4 months. And the coolest thing is hearing my practice members saying, Jody, what are you doing? Like, this is really cool, you know, because they're used to getting the text from here and the email from here and all. And now they feel like it's a more cohesive experience to get their admin needs met in my practice. My team, I actually have 2 people who check my messages for me, one in the AM, one in the PM. And they're like, this is next level. We don't have to look in 5 places. We don't have to have 5 windows open. It's all in one place. Okay. You guys, I recognize that you could do anything with your afternoon, and the fact that you decided to listen to me for an hour really is quite humbling. Thank you for your time. I'm here and available for any questions. Your questions help me know what the next piece is or where I'm being unclear. So please, they're very helpful to me. Send them my way, and go make the world better with great care.